The Appalachian Trail had always held a mysterious allure to me. Its vast expanse of wilderness, the whispers of legends woven into its history, and the sheer challenge of hiking its rugged terrain had ignited a spark of curiosity deep within my soul. Little did I know that my desire to conquer this trail would lead me down a path of terror I could never have imagined. It was a crisp autumn morning when I set out on my journey, the leaves a riot of colors overhead as I stepped onto the trailhead. The tranquility of the woods was all-encompassing, and with every step, I felt a connection to the natural world around me. The trail wound through dense forests, opening up to breathtaking vistas and plunging into shadowy valleys. Days turned into nights, and I camped under the canopy of stars, lulled to sleep by the symphony of nocturnal creatures. But as the days passed, a subtle unease began to creep over me. I brushed it off as the result of isolation, a trick of my mind playing with my senses. Yet, the feeling persisted, intensifying with each passing mile. One evening, as the sun cast long shadows through the trees, I heard a distant whisper on the wind. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. It sounded like voices, soft and barely audible, as if carried by the breeze itself. I strained to listen, but the words remained just out of reach, like elusive phantoms dancing on the edge of my consciousness. Shaking my head, I blamed it on exhaustion and continued on my way. As the days went by, the whispers grew more persistent, always just beyond my comprehension. I began to glimpse fleeting figures at the corner of my eye, shadows that disappeared when I turned to face them. The forest seemed to come alive with unseen presences, and the once familiar trail became a labyrinth of uncertainty. One moonlit night, while huddled in my tent, I awoke to the sensation of being watched. A cold sweat broke out across my skin as I strained my ears to catch any sound. The forest was eerily silent, and I could feel a palpable tension in the air. And then, a voice, clear and chilling, cut through the silence. "Lost traveler," it whispered, the words sending shivers down my spine. "Join us." I bolted upright, heart racing, and peered out into the darkness. There, standing at the edge of my campsite, were shadowy figures, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. I couldn't move, couldn't tear my gaze away from their haunting presence. They beckoned me, their fingers long and skeletal, extending toward me like a silent invitation. Panic surged through me, and I scrambled to my feet, tearing down the trail in blind terror. The whispers pursued me, taunting and luring, their words a haunting refrain in my mind. The once familiar path twisted and turned, leading me deeper into the heart of the forest. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, seemed like the footfalls of those phantom figures behind me. Hours passed, maybe days. I'd lost all sense of time. My body ached. My mind was a whirlwind of fear. Yet I couldn't stop. The forest had become a living nightmare, a labyrinth of darkness that threatened to consume me whole. And then, just when I thought I couldn't go on, the whispers ceased. The air grew still, and a hushed silence settled over the woods. I stumbled upon a clearing bathed in moonlight, and before me stood a gnarled tree, its branches twisting like ancient fingers reaching for the sky. As I stared at the tree, a realization washed over me like a tidal wave. The whispers, the figures, the labyrinth, it was all connected to this place, to this tree. I felt a strange compulsion to approach it, a sensation that pulled me closer despite the dread that clawed at my chest. With every step, the air grew colder, the world around me fading into an ethereal mist. And then, before the tree, I saw them. The figures that had haunted my journey, now solid and real. Their eyes held a mix of sorrow and longing as they extended their bony hands toward me. "Join us," they whispered, their voices a mournful chorus. I wanted to scream, to run, but I felt a strange acceptance wash over me. The terror, the unease, it all melted away, replaced by a numbing calm. With a sense of resignation, I reached out, my fingers intertwining with theirs. And then, in an instant, I was one of them. A guardian of the forest, a whisper on the wind, a haunting presence that would forever be a part of the Appalachian Trail's chilling legends.